Okay, listen, today we're talking about ghosts, okay? So once again, I asked you guys on Twitter, have you seen dead people, relatives or otherwise, in your dreams or like ghost form, right? Now the response to this tweet was pretty mixed, a bunch of you just said no, obviously I've not seen any dead people, but a lot of you did reply with your stories involving these supposed dead relatives or these random people. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because I kind of find this phenomenon kind of interesting, like, I haven't experienced it myself, like I've never seen any dead people or ghosts or anything, but maybe one time, but I can easily tell myself that, oh, it's my kid brain just visualizing something, or maybe it's a random hallucination, right? But I searched it up online and I started to read about it, and it was pretty cool, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. Now, don't worry, the issue is not to start a fight here that if ghosts exist or not, because according to what we know about science today, it appears there's no already proof for ghosts existing, but maybe in the future we might discover something that relates to the concept of a ghost. And yeah, the only reason I'm really talking about it is because I find it super cool, right? One of my favorite shows from my childhood was Danny Phantom, which is about this ghost boy, right? He was like half boy, half ghost, and he had these really cool superpowers where, I don't know, he could shoot these ghost blasts. It was like, I don't know, what is it called? Plasma blast or something? He could walk through walls, disappear, and fly, and it was all around a pretty interesting show where they fought these random ghost enemies. So yeah, my point is, like, even if they don't exist, it's not like forbidden to talk about it, right? Because it's pretty cool. Now, something that surprised me a lot is I asked you guys, do you believe in ghosts? And surprisingly, the majority said yes. And I was not expecting that at all because I thought it would be like a 90% no and maybe a 10% yes. But that's kind of weird. I don't know if you guys are trolling me here, but it's pretty cool to see people at least interested in the supernatural. Okay, so obviously there's a couple reasons we may see these so-called ghosts. Maybe because we are super attached to a relative, and then they pass away, and then our brain is like, no, does not compute, and then they want them back there, right? And so we start visualizing them, or maybe they start coming in our dreams and giving us advice, like a movie. I feel like it's kind of similar to the phenomenon where, you know, you get nightmares when you actually need to pee in the night because our brain decides to absolutely demolish us in order to wake us up. So I don't know if that's actually a thing, by the way. That's just what my mom told me. She was like, you need to pee, that's why you have nightmares. And I'm like, oh yeah, that kind of made sense. So there's this article which says, why do we see dead people, right? Humans have always sensed the ghosts of loved ones. It's only in the last century that we convinced ourselves that this was actually a problem. I mean, I gotta say that I don't think it's a problem unless it's literally affecting you, like you can't sleep at night because you keep seeing these figures, or you're always scared to go outside or in like these dark alleys. I mean, you should be scared of going in dark alleys, but you know what I mean. Are you one of the many people who've seen loved ones beyond the grave? Comment below. I want to know as well, because my Twitter audience is just a fraction of my real audience, so yeah. These specters are sometimes called ghosts, sometimes dismissed as grief hallucinations, but this kind of haunting is more common than you may think. The first scientific survey that examined visions of the dead was conducted in the 1880s by founding members of London Society, whose membership included Alfred Russel Wallace, co-inventor of the theory of evolution. Then came Freud and his concept of wishful psychosis and grief, the idea that you may see a loved one or feel their presence after they're gone. According to him, these were warning signs of lingering dependency and were best ignored and forgotten. I think it's kind of funny because movies kind of teach us the complete opposite, right? Like if you see a dead relative or a friend in a movie, it's usually like a good sign. It's one of those like wise guys, one of those, you know, learned individuals who tell you exactly what you need to do. Something about the power of love or friendship, or maybe sometimes you did something bad and then your dad shows up in a dream and goes, son, it's okay, stop doing that bad stuff now. I think that was about the worst example I could possibly conjure up. I apologize. But yeah, I gotta say that lingering dependency is pretty dangerous as well. There's always the other side to things where you start to kind of become insane. It's kind of like when a 6-year-old loses their teddy bear and they start acting like Greek philosophers, right? They're like, I've experienced a great loss in my life. You wouldn't even understand or comprehend the grief I've been through. I've been through hell 2 times, dude. You are but a mere mortal in front of me. I lost my teddy bear, dude. The experiences described by mourners are often dismissed or met with awkward silences. I mean, you can't really blame people for not believing in your little ghost thing because, I mean, to other people you just seem crazy, right? But for many who see these familiar ghosts, these paranormal encounters are not a problem. Research even even suggests that they may lead to a greater acceptance of loss. So this part is something to consider because there's a high chance that all these ghost phenomenon can be explained away by weird lighting, maybe weird situations happening, stressed out brains that can't think straight and just start producing these images, or in general just something reasonably scientific, right? But if these ghosts are somehow like still helping you and genuinely helping you get over a certain great loss in your life, and maybe it's like beneficial to look into it and talk to someone about it, right? Because even if you know like you're this super scientific person and you understand that it's all a farce, right? It may still lead to greater conclusions and have real life effects on your situation, right? If you do happen to come to an understanding of some sort, these ghosts might actually help you, right? Almost 150 years after the first scientific study on ghosts, experts still have no idea what exactly is happening in the brain of someone who sees a dead loved one. Yeah, so obviously science hasn't exactly disproved it completely either, but we haven't proved it either, so it's a classic dilemma of where it's your responsibility to prove that it exists, right? Otherwise, it just does not, and by that standard, obviously, they do not exist, right? The existence of a ghost as a bodiless soul or a spirit of a dead person or animal is contrary to the laws of nature as we understand them, so it seems that there's something here that calls for an explanation. We can look at the worlds of literature, philosophy, blah blah blah, for some of the reasons why people are so keen to believe. So one of the most common occurrences is like vengeful spirits, right, as portrayed in movies, right? The desire for justice and the belief in some form of supernatural protection. Ghosts have long been thought of as vehicles for justice. Many people are comforted by thinking that their deceased loved ones are watching over them and perhaps guiding them. I do think that this interpretation is a very wholesome one, like where your mom and dad are just kind of watching over you and they're just like proud of what you've become since they left. Like, I think the first time I saw this was it Harry Potter and his dad, like, comes in the mirror or something? That was pretty cool. But there's many people who also like to believe that death is not the end of existence. It's a comfort when we lose people we love or face the idea of our own mortality. Many cultures around the world have had beliefs that the dead can communicate with the living, and the phenomenon of spiritualism supposes that we can communicate with the spirits of the dead, often through the services of specially talented spirit mediums. Okay, so once again, we have another interpretation where nobody wants to accept death, right? It's kind of boring to think that after we die, we're just gone, right? Wiped out from existence, doomed to become decomposed and just one with the soil, right? A lot of people like to think that, hey, maybe my soul leaves my body or my vessel and starts exploring the rest of the world. And can you imagine, like, everybody who's dead is just having, like, the greatest time ever? They're just, like, up in another world and they're looking down at us and just, like, shouting at our decisions or smiling at whatever we're doing. I don't know, man. It's just cool to think about. I think a really important factor in all of this is whether you believe, like, your mind is separate from your body. Like, pretty much, do we have a soul, right? If we do, chances are a ghost might exist, but again, you know, unlikely according to science. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this today because I found it interesting. I feel like I make a lot of videos, right? So I don't have to stick to random, like, other topics. I can cover pretty much whatever I want. So yeah, I know these videos won't get many views at all, but I do appreciate the people who watch these type of videos and enjoy them. As long as somebody enjoys them, right? That's all I could hope for. Yeah, thank you for watching and letting me talk about whatever, and just listening. It really means a lot. And yeah, smash like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you guys next time. Maybe in your dreams, dude. Maybe I'm a ghost, dude. Pegasus the ghost. That would be cool. Yeah, bye-bye.